Over the past 3 years, an alarming movement of banning books has taken hold of our nation, and this dangerous trend continues to surge. The American Library Association reports that instances of book bans across the United States have dramatically increased, with more than 4,000 unique book titles targeted for removal from schools and libraries in 2023. Challenges at public libraries alone last year rose by a whopping 92%. Florida and Texas lead the country in number of book bans, but the Northeast is not immune. This crisis has spread to 41 out of 50 states. There has been an especially strong focus on banning books written for children and young adults, particularly when those books are concerned with difficult topics like violence, racism and sexuality, or historically marginalized populations. Tonight, we honor 3 crusaders who are fighting for the right to read and the right for authors to be read. As publisher, author, and bookseller, they are guardians of an essential American freedom, our right to have access to knowledge and a variety of viewpoints, a right upon which democracy depends and public libraries embody. Nancy Paulson has been with Penguin Books her entire career, and in 2011 started her own imprint for Penguin Random House. She specializes in editing picture books that are eye-opening and full of wonder, and has garnered a long list of prize-winning titles that represent diverse, distinct, and important voices.
It's really important that kids have access to diverse books, and it's also important that kids see themselves in books. That was the whole point for so many of us of going into this field, is to make sure that every kid had a book that spoke to them. And that's really our mission. Every child should see themselves in a book. The whole book banning situation has gotten so intense. And there's hard banning and soft banning, where teachers and librarians are just afraid to buy books for fear of retribution. I'm really proud of our company, Penguin Random House, because they have been fighting these bans with authors. They went to Iowa, we've gone to Maryland, we're in the courts fighting. We work with Penn, we work with the American Library Association, we work with the National Council of Teachers of English to fight book banning. Well, states like Florida and Texas, which have been the biggest proponents of banning books, feel uncomfortable with books that have a message of Black empowerment. They also seem uncomfortable with books that address the issue of enslaved people. It's just so against everything we stand for, meaning that kids have a right to know the real history. I've been working with Jacqueline since 1994, and we have published over 30 books together, picture books, middle grade, and young adult. There was never a more beautiful writer that I had encountered. Everything she writes just comes from this I don't know, it's just so beautiful. She has such a great memory of being a child and of growing up, so you feel you are right there with her.
There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you, until the day you begin to tell your story.
You have written 21 novels. You write from different perspectives.
There's so many important stories at every age in our lives, so I feel like I want to tell them, and I want to tell them from all points of view. One thing that happens when you read a book that makes you think, it changes you as well. It creates empathy. Today I'm reading to you from Red at the Bone. It's Banned Books Week, and I have a lot of banned books. Today I am reading from Brown Girl Dreaming. Yes, it too is banned. Brown Girl Dreaming is a memoir, and it's a story of how I became a writer. So yeah, they're trying to ban the history of Jacqueline Woodson becoming a writer.
There are a few people behind a lot of these bans, and they're very, very organized. And most of them have not read the whole book. They've read a little piece and taken it out of context. Part of some of these bills say if you are going to bring in a complaint, you do have to have read the book.
resistance is key, and reading is resistance, and let's keep reading.
You're in New York City this summer and you want to go to a beautiful bookstore. Books are magic in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I've gone there for everything I possibly can. It's the best bookstore. So Emma not only is a writer, she's a screenwriter, and she has a bookstore.
Emma Straub is the New York Times best-selling author of 6 books for adults, which have been published in 20 languages. She has also authored 3 whimsical children's books, including the recently released Gaga Mistake Day. Emma and her husband own Books Are Magic, an independent bookstore with 2 locations in Brooklyn, committed to offering diverse books for every audience.
There are just certain things that I believe to be true, and one of them is that books are magic. I'm Emma Straub, novelist, bookseller. Welcome to Books Are Magic. Independent bookstores can make books fly off the shelves. I mean, it really is magic to watch a good bookseller hand sell something that they believe in. It is the thing that I liked most about working at Book Court, when there was something that I loved that I got to tell people about.
It's fabulous when people like that do have bookstores and can bring in more people and get more people excited about reading and be on the fighting edge of making sure all voices are heard.
There are so many ways to better understand yourself through books and to better understand other people through books. You know, if you're a kid, if you're an adult, it doesn't matter. Books are magic.